In this video we will be talking about what we've learned in terms of technical aspects when editing and producing our opening title sequence.
To edit we used Adobe Premiere, which none of us had used before. In this process we have learnt a lot in both the edit suites and when filming. To create our production logo I used the computer graphics program Adobe Fireworks CS6. My idea came from watching one of the Scary Movie films where the TV blanks out suddenly, which obviously created a sense of mystery and suspense, and thought to recreate that and incorporate our company name Grit. The name came from just words that were repeated within the group. So for example, Taylor would say, "Oh, we want this to look more grittier," and thought, well, Grit would be an appropriate name for the type of film it would be producing. The first shot is probably the most important. This is where the audience creates their first impression, and so we made sure that it's essential to include the vital parts in one shot. So from the mise en scene we wanted to create an atmosphere immediately. The character's body language, appearance gives the audience clues to whom they may be and what their business is. All these elements are the conventions that contribute to the thriller genre. For the title we used a free font website called DeFont. We wanted something that looked edgy, bold, to stand out to our audience, and we felt represented the genre. And it looks distorted and eroded like the life of our main character. The choice of colour, the idea to include the overlay partly came from watching the Channel 4 series of Fear, but also the fact that the red colour immediately suggests danger. Okay. Ready?
The shot of the bird creates an eerie feel as if the girl is being watched. This is shown through the bird because connotations would be vulnerability of the girl due to the bird preying on her. This idea came from Alfred Hitchcock's The Bird. The sound effect we used to exaggerate the meaning of the bird was a bird call that had been changed into a more rumbling, deep sound which made it more powerful.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The shot of the character's mouth was to show some of the character without revealing her. This shot also shows her breathing heavily, which shows her as scared and shocked. This was inspired by Arlington Road. The character walking along the seafront was purposely in this location as it represents a city and shows her background to the character. The pier is an iconic feature which represents Brighton. This also shows her on a journey to a place which is not yet revealed. Another thriller convention is close-up shots of eyes. This was inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and again this shows the character without fully revealing her. The colour mat that we used in the first half of our opening sequence was used to create an eerie thriller feel to our story and to show a difference between the two halves. The first half is about introducing the character and setting the scene with the location and giving the audience a background on our story. The second half is about us beginning our story and to show the audience the type of issue our character is going to face. The way we showed the transition was by changing from the colour mat to normal colours of the shot. On top of this, we used fast colour corrector to make our shots darker and to feel more like a thriller. We included an 8mm film roll to act as a continuous effect that unites the two halves of our sequence. This created a flickery image that is edgy and builds suspense and tension. The quick cuts we used to show the girl looking and running are dramatic and fast-paced, which build tension. On top of this, the music gets louder, which emphasises all of the connotations and creates suspense.
In this shot I really like how we carried on filming as we watch her run down the road, as it feels like she is running for a long time, which makes the audience feel even more uncomfortable. After watching lots of opening sequences, we came up with this idea of using a close-up of the feet running up the stairs. This emphasises the rush, and the metal bars add to the thriller conventions we have used. The music also goes well with this movement. We chose to use multiple shots for this part as she tries to unlock the door, drops the keys, and then gets in and shuts the door, as it emphasises again the rush to get in and to run away from her stalker. It really works well. In these shots with the front doors, we did have to again use a circle as there was some wallpaper and reflections in this shot, which made it obvious we were in a porch and not in the location we had made out to be in. However, we love the sound effects as it makes it more realistic and adds the tension. With this running bit, we had to be careful with continuity, which we had learnt when doing our preliminary activity, so we made sure we cut on the right leg, for example. We had trouble finding the 6 sound effect, so we had to download from a free sound effect website, which we cut and edited with other sound effects, such as coughing and gagging, to get the best sound. We think this would work really well. Speaking of sound, it would have also been nice to edit the main audio track to make it fit with the clips even better, perhaps decreasing and increasing in volume. At the end, we faded the scene out to black and the music out, which works really nicely as it separates the scene from the next. In this shot also, the darkness works well as it is unnatural for the brightness of the bathroom and adds a more eerie effect.